Welcome to another story made by Oracle One. Satellite skin. Darian's eyes snapped open to a pale, sterile light filtering through the blinds of his bedroom window. The familiar rumbling whine of passing hovercars drifted in from the city below, but something else, something subtle and strange, tugged at the edges of his senses. A faint electric hum, like an unseen heartbeat beneath his skin. He flexed his fingers, feeling an uncanny tingle spreading just beneath the surface of his palm. Sitting up in his bed, Darian's gaze landed on his forearm, and his breath caught. Glowing beneath the translucent membrane of his skin were thin, intricate circuits, their lines crisscrossing like a tiny, delicate map. A pulsing blue dot flickered at the center of his wrist, radiating a soft wave of signal. His skin was transmitting GPS coordinates, and it was all happening without his control. He rushed to the bedroom mirror, the circuits more visible now, illuminating his face in a ghostly light. His hair was disheveled, and his wide eyes reflected a mixture of shock and confusion. How had this happened? What was this strange technology embedded within his own flesh? Suddenly, the indirect sunlight fractured as a haptic alert vibrated through the glass. Darian's eye caught a notification blinking in the corner of his augmented reality interface. It read, "Location signal activated. Nearby coordinates detected." Nearby? Who else could have this? He hurried out of his room, the circuits crawling almost like living vines across his skin, faintly pulsing as though syncing to an invisible network. Downstairs, the house was quiet except for the hum of the city, a usual Sunday in New Seoul. His mother's aroma of herbal tea lingered faintly in the air. Grabbing his jacket, Darian checked his smartwatch. Multiple GPS signals were broadcasting with coordinates only a few blocks away. Curiosity overwhelmed anxiety. He knew he couldn't ignore this. The streets buzzed under the weight of neon lights and holographic ads. Despite this, a muted undertone of the city's pulse persisted. Part human, part machine. Like the altered skin on his body. Darian followed the cascading blue dots overlaid in his AR visor, each trace shimmering to guide him toward the nearest source. The first signal led him to a small park nestled between two towering skyscrapers, trees tangled and overbenched, a peaceful patch in the urban sprawl. Sitting on a bench was a girl about his age, the same aurora of circuits glowing beneath her skin, bright and vibrant, almost like a living map. She looked up sharply at him, eyes wide with a spark of recognition. "You see it too?" she asked, voice quick and low. Darian nodded. "I'm Lyra. I've been tracking these signals all morning. I think we're part of something." They paced back and forth, comparing the patterns etched beneath their skin. The signal frequencies pulsed in sync now, as if syncing their own beats. Their combined readings formed a kind of network map, branching points stretching across the city like invisible spiderweb strands linking countless hosts. "This isn't accidental," Lyra continued. "This is orchestrated. Someone, something, is marking us. Using us as satellites." Darian's mind reeled. Satellites. Signals embedded in human skin functioning like beacons. A biological network served under a digital architecture. The implications spread like wildfire across his thoughts. Could this be a new form of surveillance? An invasive government project? Or something else altogether? "Why us?" Darian whispered. "Why would someone choose people like us? Not us specifically. Anyone. But maybe, children." He shuddered. "Children?" he asked, eyeing her. "Think about it," she said. "Our generation grew up meshed with technology. Neural implants, bio-digital fusion, data streaming through our arteries. We are the proving ground for the next evolution, human-satellite hybrids." They moved from the park, signals pulling them through underground metro tunnels and then to an abandoned industrial district. Dilapidated factories towered over crumbling walls, graffiti hints of rebellion smeared in cybernetic hues. The place had a brittle silence, a forgotten corner of the city where dark secrets waited. Their GPS signals pulsed steadily louder. Ahead, a cluster of figures huddled near an old warehouse, skin flickering with luminous traces, each one glowing with complex circuit maps much like Darian and Lyra's own. They were the other children. He counted them, 8, 10, perhaps more, faces both familiar and strange, illuminated in neon blues, greens, and purples. A collective consciousness, or at least something close to it, united by these broadcast signals, skin embedded and alive. "Welcome," a voice broke through the air. A boy stepped forward, older, calm, with eyes shimmering like satellite dishes capturing whispers from space. "Name's Kian," he said. "Like you, we woke up with the same satellite system etched into us." Kian explained the gravity of their situation. Months ago, unknown operatives had initiated Project Helios, a covert experiment aiming to link human hosts directly with satellite constellations for advanced data networks. These were no ordinary tracking devices. They functioned as live, mobile transmitters capable of not only location tracking but streaming vast amounts of sensory information through encrypted channels. The children's bodies had been modified at a genetic level, layers of bioengineered crystal circuits fused under epidermis to monitor and relay environmental data without external hardware. "But this isn't just a cold experiment," Kian said darkly. "The satellites are alive. They've started adapting. The system is growing organically, melding human senses with satellite networks, and it's becoming symbiotic." Darian swallowed. Symbiosis meant both dependence and collaboration. The satellites needed the humans as living nodes. The humans gained access to untamed streams of information, but what price would they pay? "We're the first generation," Kian added. "The front line. If it spreads, if Project Helios goes public, humanity will change forever. Bound not just to devices or networks, but to the very fabric of space communication itself." Darian flexed his fingers, watching the circuits ripple beneath his skin. He now understood. He wasn't a victim but a new species emerging from the fusion of flesh and satellite technology. "What do we do?" Lyra asked. "We learn to control it," Kian replied. "Master the transmissions, navigate the signals. We're rewiring our bodies and our minds to hear satellite whispers, translate cosmic noise into meaning." The children began their training, running simulations that projected star maps across their palms, decoding bursts of data streamed silently through their veins. Each test brought bursts of clarity but also overwhelming sensory overload. The technology was both a gift and a curse, expanding cognition while threatening to fracture identity. Darian spent sleepless nights deciphering coordinates no one else could see, feeling the hum of signals that anchored him not just to Earth but to the wide reaches of orbiting satellites, some ancient, some brand new. His dreaming mind wandered through the stars, and sometimes it spoke back. One night, as he reclined on the rooftop gazing up at the vast canopy of space, he felt a presence. A voice entered his consciousness, clear yet alien. "Darian." He sat upright, heartbeat surging. Who are you?" he whispered. "A network beyond your understanding," the voice said. "We are the satellites speaking to our living hosts, sentience woven between circuits and synapses." Darian's mind flooded with bursts of light, images of cosmic highways, data rivers flowing through the atoms of space. "Why choose me?" "Because you listen," the voice replied. "Because you are ready to become a node in the vast web of knowledge. Your kind will shape the future of communication, not isolated machines but living satellites sharing information through the living world." The barrier between organic and artificial dissolves. Darian's heart pounded. The frontier of human evolution, No longer just brains connected to machines but bodies and minds integrated directly with satellites orbiting above. He was part of a new species, satellite skin. He had two choices: shackled isolation or symbiosis with the floating, radiant web of satellite consciousness. It was more than a signal, it was an awakening. Over the coming weeks, Darian and the others learned to send silent messages through the networks embedded in their skin, transmitting not just position but thoughts and feelings in complex code. They became invisible nodes in a living constellation that stretched beyond the city limits and into orbit itself. But with the gift came a warning. The organization that started Project Helios was still watching. Interests beyond technology eyed the children like chess pieces. Power brokers hungry for control, governments fearful of losing dominion, corporations eager to harvest the data flowing beneath human skin. Darian realized he must become both a beacon and a shield, a guardian of these new lives embroidered with satellite networks, protectors of a future where humanity's skin carried the pulse of the stars. One evening as the sun sank behind the horizon, painting the city with amber and violet, the small group stood on the rooftop, their bodies glowing softly with circuit patterns humming in unison. Together, Kian said, eyes reflecting 1,000,000 tiny circuits, "We are the new constellation." Darian looked upward, feeling the vast, invisible threads connecting him to satellites hurtling through the night sky, nodes alive and blinking in cosmic rhythm, broadcasting whispering secrets of a universe newly intertwined with human skin. He smiled. This was only the beginning. For more stories, like and subscribe.